The Chinese connection, or not. So over the years, you soon learn there's certain ethnic minorities that will under no circumstances date you if you're not one of their fellow countrymen. Funny really, they live in the UK and secretly practice more racism than you'd expect. So I send a message to a picture thinking no way will I ever get a response. And you can take a punt on Eastern Europeans. They seem to be used to the more rough and ready. However, go further east and you're wasting your time. To be honest, ladies, don't live in the West. Don't go on dating sites if you don't want Western men to contact you. I get a response from what appears by the broken English profile and the normal looking half decent pictures, a normal, unbroken woman. Laugh out loud. By the time anyone gets to 40, their mental health has been destroyed by the abuse their former partners have dealt out. In most cases, the baby father or mother. Well, I've done well. A pretty little Chinese girl with a job and the ability to string a few words together, giving the impression of a basic grasp of English. She has a job. Well, money she gets from somewhere, but is unwilling to explain how. I hesitate. To do more than WhatsApp at this stage, as a conversation in broken English via the normal route is tedious and boring when one of the participants understands nothing of what you're saying, let alone English humour. The thing I rely upon most, make them laugh, right? Making a woman laugh is the same as cooking a man a meal and lending him a fiver. Instant adoration. So I muster up the courage. When there's nothing on Netflix, I make the call. After a longer than normal time to respond, you can always imagine the lucky lady on the other end simply looking at the phone ring thinking, should I, shouldn't I? It's tedious. She answers, and within 20 seconds it's clear she understands not only English, but the jokes I anaesthetise her with. This is going well. She laughs, I laugh, the ice is broken. I throw in a few philosophical, universal, ever so self-aware one-liners and she appears to be hooked. Throughout the conversation I notice it's me doing all the talking and the information I'm receiving seems to be on the low down. So this single divorced woman turns out to be newly separated, a mother of a 10-year-old, living in a room donated by an unnamed friend with a questionable residency in this country. Could marriage be on the cards? Not for me. But hidden agendas start to creep out. Not having much to do on a Saturday night, we agree to meet. OMG, this woman's in South London, bloody bandit country, with an adversity to making any effort to meet someone more than 10 feet from her local Pret. Oh, shit, after a while we arranged to meet in Soho, sort of halfway, with me travelling a little further in an Uber. 7 o'clock, I'm there, drink in hand. Through the rain, I sit in the bar. 7:15, no show. 7:30, no show. Normally I'd fucked off by now, but I'm in a good mood and I've never dated an Oriental before. I wonder if they taste the same. I found out they do taste the same. She finally arrives and, like a woman who's never been on a date in her life, reluctantly agrees to have a small red wine. I must say I did enjoy looking into her eyes. She seemed to have led an interesting life up until this point. Well, the point that she met me. I was the first Westerner she'd dated. How lucky. The stories come out. The abusive ex who has custody of her child in America. Jeepers, I need to change the conversation. I started to glaze over at the stories about the 10-year-old I never knew she had. They started to pour out like she was confessing her sins, only not to a priest, and I'm not paid enough to listen to this shit. You soon start to understand why most women lie on their profiles. Let's face it, do I want to raise a bloody 10-year-old? No thanks. I do, however, fancy this woman and find myself considering what a relationship would be like with her. Over the next few hours we drink, we eat, we leave. Taxi to my flat to watch a bit of TV and see where things lead. I must be honest, I was attracted to this woman, but another one-night stand with me confusing sex for love and the potential or a real relationship was something I didn't want. This woman, however, seemed cool, relaxed and potentially susceptible to a second date that could end my weekday masturbation and boredom. So we're on my bed watching a Jim Carrey movie, cuddling, talking, and generally doing what mammals would do. I must admit, the closeness felt nice, made me feel human. Maybe this girl could be worth the effort. Better not blow it, boy. This one could be a keeper. After an hour or so, this demure, quiet little Tinkerbell seems to go from 1 to 10. I remember saying to her, "I'm not sleeping with you." That seemed to make her all the more want the opposite. Okay, she might have only slept with a handful of people. This woman was no slouch though. Jeepers, she seemed to know her way around. And after a few chosen gestures, she insisted I made love to her. Well, "fuck me now" were the words she actually said. It's at that moment you think, if I get up now and reach over to the condoms, all bets could be off. This frantic, worked up state she seems to be in this moment, could be lost in the next 20 seconds it takes to stop the proceedings and try and get a condom on the right way. I think to myself, well, she tastes nice, seems to smell clean, and obviously washes. What the hell? I'm going to do as the lady asks and go for a penetration. The big mistake I always make, yes. The bedroom half marathon was good. We seemed to gel, and more importantly, I didn't come in 3 minutes. Wow, the chemistry was there. This girl's a keeper. When we both crossed the finishing line, neither one of us slept in the wet patch. We just simply cuddled up and carried on watching the film. I must admit the feeling of being close felt very satisfying indeed. Other than a few tissues strewn around the duvet and her pants under my pillow, everything felt normal and cosy. To be honest, all I'm looking for is closeness. Something special to share. My Asperger's and poor memory don't allow me to lie that much, and I find that by coming out with ridiculously awkward questions seems to put women at ease. Do you give blowjobs? Can a penis inside you make you come, or do you like to be eaten out? I do wait a little while before these questions emerge. Well, up until the third drink, making sure to notice how fast the lady in question drinks. Forget non-drinking vegans. They're the hardest to date and tend to have no personality at all. Chuck in a few sprogs younger than 10 and they're a complete non-starter. As I write this, normally wired off my tits, I do try to leave the cynicism at home. However, me, like most, have been hurt, beaten, robbed in the past by people we loved. I struggle with loving something, or even loving something. The one thing I love more than my children, music, art, cars, watches and money are women. Their grace just astounds me. Their beauty takes my breath away. I guess I'm looking for perfection, and unlike others, that is the only thing I will settle with. So right now you've figured out that obviously I'm looking for a woman with standards lower than mine. So I'm dating my Chinese princess. Having sex with her is great. She didn't question or even mind when I'd not only pull my love pump out, Spinal Tap styly, she also didn't care about the mobile set to record. I must say, now she's gone back to China, Scotland or America to live her double life, the video does get me through when I've seen everything to be seen on RedTube. This girl was unable to say no to anything. I was amazed by her enthusiastic marathon-like stamina when operating the reverse cowgirl manoeuvre. For a demure size 10, she had the loveliest tits I'd fondled in years, and a pussy that was as sweet as a little cherry pie. So that was a glimpse into the sex part of the relationship I thought I was in. Here is the deceitful nonsense part coming up right now. When dating, seeing, having sex with a person on a regular basis, I do tend to notice the small pauses and things that they don't say. Chinese seemed to have all the money she needed, spent her time flying around the world, had no job or responsibility at all. Towards the end, I find out her son lives with his very wealthy father, and the only reason she hasn't divorced him is that she wants some of his money. I've got to say, when you hear the tales of woe our current fuck buddies tell us about their exes, you always want to punch the living daylights out of them. I wonder if my exes tell a similar story. Is there a silly, gullible man out there wanting my blood right now? It's always over-dramatised for effect. Sympathy goes a long way in securing the trust of the victim. I've been told so many stories, some very tragic and true. Thing is, at 40, we're broken. Dates and dating sites have helped me understand the deeper human need. I do believe they've helped me, and they've helped me understand women. We all want to be loved. I liked Chinese, just didn't like the deceit. Both genders believe that if you don't ask the correct question, the answer you get isn't a lie. We all know it, but continue to play the game. It seems that Chinese was living in a room in Bandit Country, South London, owned many properties in Scotland and gained her income from rentals and sales. She lived the life, I must say. She was never able to fully commit and at the drop of a hat would fly off. I always felt aggrieved. When on the site you say your home location is London, then you find out that they actually live hundreds of miles away. Chinese actually came from Scotland to meet me for our first date. Why lie? Not practical when wanting her to pop over for a cuppa. I hate the deceit. I don't operate that way. The truth is good and in most cases a great icebreaker. I started off naive. Now I understand that both genders are liars and predators wanting their basic human instincts met. Chinese fucked off. I called her once, but she didn't answer. Called her back with holding the number. She told me she wasn't interested anymore.